It's another edition of Health with Patricia, with me, Patricia Roxanne Hammond. Today we'll be discussing erectile dysfunction with Dr. Bernard Tobo. He is with Shape Healthcare and Medical Center at Latebiokoshi. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for giving us another time.
You're welcome.
Okay, so today we're going to discuss erectile dysfunction.
Right.
So, educate us. What is erectile dysfunction?
Yes, back in the day we used to read this book called African Writers Series. And one of the authors is Chinua Achebe.
Yeah.
Chinua Achebe said that when the bed shakes regularly, there's always peace in the house. You understand that? When the bed shakes regularly, that means there's always peace in the house.
Yeah.
And that
I understand.
That underscores the importance of, adequate or optimal sex in the home. Now, erectile dysfunction is when a male, partner is unable to obtain and maintain satisfactory sexual intercourse that satisfy the partner.
Mm-hmm.
Intercourse that satisfies the partner. And basically there are two key words: obtain, and then the second one, maintain. Some people can obtain the erection,
But they can't maintain it.
but they cannot maintain, and some cannot obtain at all, so the maintenance doesn't come in. And all these things helps to classify the severity of this erectile dysfunction. So basically, you realize that at the end of the day, it causes distress to the male partner, the female partner, and the relationship is also affected.
Virtually killing the peace at home.
Exactly. The peace is definitely affected. And it is the greatest problem a man would ever face. Leo Tolstoy said that man can experience all the tragedies of the world, but the greatest tragedy of all
It's not being able to satisfy your partner.
is the tragedy of the bedroom. Yeah. So basically that's what erectile dysfunction is. When you look at a cursory study of men who experience erectile dysfunction, you realize that as men age, then their performance tends to go down. In fact, for men who are less than 40 years, you will realize that every 1 in 20 will experience erectile problems. As they grow older, it becomes 1 in 7.
Wow.
More frequent. And that is where the whole idea of the different types of erectile dysfunction do come in.
Okay.
You realize that there are two broad categories. You have those who have what we call psychogenic erectile dysfunction, and then those who have what we call organic erectile dysfunction. And I'll quickly explain. Psychogenic simply means that there is something troubling the mind.
Okay.
Psychologists will tell you that the mind is the primary sex organ. What we have down there is just a representative of
Everything
the mind.
is...
Everything is up there, yes. So if something troubles the mind adversely, it
will
can
virtually go down there.
can kill the erection. And this psychogenic type tends to be very common among those who are relatively younger, let's say less than 40, and they don't have any obvious disease conditions. And it tends to occur quite quickly.
Okay.
So we say it is of acute onset. What we've realized about this psychogenic type is that these patients would have, normal nocturnal erections. So early morning, in the night, they will experience erections all right. But when it comes to the female partner, for them to do the do, then they go down flat. Yeah, and that can be very distressing. On the flip side, this gentleman, when they go away, we are not encouraging it though. They go to another partner, they're able to perform very well. So this kind of psychogenic erectile dysfunction sometimes is referred to as a situational erectile dysfunction. And it's all in the mind.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind. Sometimes it may be due to performance anxiety. You have a partner who is more highly sexed than you and you want to up your game. And if you don't have a female partner who will show you up gradually to be at par, and put so much demand, it can be troublesome. It can give you so much anxiety. Stress can also be a reason for psychogenic, erectile dysfunction, marital problems or relationships problems by itself. So it tends to occur in those who are younger.
Yeah.
But for those who are older, they experience what we call the organic type of erectile dysfunction. Organic means that there is something wrong within the body.
Okay.
As you grow older, it is said that for every year, your level of testosterone will drop by 1%.
Mm-hmm.
So for every decade, your testosterone concentration will drop by 10%.
So I think that will be from 40 and above.
Exactly. And that obviously will affect the quality of the erection. Most of the times before 40, the erection will be looking up, what we call the Hitler salute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as you age, then it will be dropping, it becomes horizontal. And then as you near your 50s, 60s, it tends to look downwards, and that attests to the decline in the level of testosterone as you age. As you grow older, then other conditions like hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol disease, if you are a chronic alcoholic. Basically, with erection, there are 3 systems that subserves it, and when these 3 systems are affected, I'm talking about where the blood flows.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the nerves,
mm-hmm.
and then the hormones. Where the blood flows starts from the heart, all the way to the tiny blood vessels that connect the male anatomy. And then the nerves starts from the brain.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the brain being the primary sex organ. So anything that will affect the brain, right from stroke to Parkinson's to chronic alcoholism, all the way to the nerves, diabetes, all these things, trauma to the back that may affect the nerves. They can affect the quality of the erection. Then the chief hormone center where testosterone is produced is a testicle. So things can affect the testicle. I talked about the normal decline as you age, but some people may have their decline coming faster.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have chronic infection, that affects the testicle. Those who have what we call torsion. Torsion is when the testicle gets twisted for no known reason. And if it is not untwisted quickly, and that is done in the hospital surgically, then that testicle will die, and in effect the hormone production will be affected. There are some people, their testicles are undescended, and God in his own wisdom brought the testicle down to the scrotum where it is air conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
The temperature there is 5 degrees less than the body. But if your testicles are closer to the body, then your testosterone level, the heat, would affect it adversely. So if these 3 systems, the blood flow system, the nerve system, and then the hormone system governed by the testicles are affected, then you will have organic erectile dysfunction, and this tends to develop gradually.
Mm-hmm.
Gradually, the patients will observe loss of early morning erections, and then when their partners come to them, they realize that even with their nakedness, the desire plummets. The desire is so down to the extent that some people even try to use pornography to try to stimulate their urge, to no avail. There's something wrong, obviously, with the system itself, and that has to be corrected. So basically, that is what you have with erectile dysfunction. The good news is that these problems can be solved. They can be dealt with so easily, and that's what we will advise people to seek the right treatment.
How does erection works?
Good. So basically, for erection to work, first of all, you need a trigger.
Okay.
you need a trigger, and that underpins even the treatment that we offer. We always tell people who will have to take the medications that, hey, we'll have to work on the trigger system. What do I mean by the trigger system? There are different avenues of sensation within the body. So the eyes see something erotic, something lovely in your partner. That's why we always tell people who are married that when you're in the house alone, you as a female partner, you have to dress provocatively to always turn your man on. It's very, very important, because the sight alone, if the man cannot see what is in the house, then the eyes will be groping for things which
outside.
are beyond the outside, and they will think that the grass is greener outside. Meanwhile, there's better food within the house.
In a situation where there are kids at home?
Where there are kids at home, you can still dress in a way or behave in a way which is provocative.
Only the partner will understand.
Exactly. And it takes time. Once you are together, you get to know each other more and more, and you know the kind of cues that turn each other on. So the sight, and then the sound. The sound, it is not only women who like listening to sweet talks and sweet words. Men sometimes, like, pampering.
Yeah.
And with the right words in place, the right praises, it can lift the mood of the man and turn him on. Then touch, the sense of touch. Within the body, there are various erogenic zones which can be stimulated. And then let me talk about smell. Smell. Sometimes body odor can trigger.
I know, right?
Yeah. The perfume industry have capitalized on this to produce perfumes which are sex attractants. So basically, when you have the trigger will cause chemical changes within your body, which will cause arousal. Arousal basically means the blood is rushing to your sensitive areas, to your main genitalia especially, specifically to the man right now. And as that is happening, the brain is firing, sending more signals, reinforcing, the desire. And it climbs up, and you realize that your pulse, your heartbeats moves faster. You start sweating. You may even get some few palpitations. There is rush of blood everywhere, including the members down there. And it becomes more turgid, longer, wider, ready for penetration. And with the right stimulation here and there, the female will make herself available. And once the female is turned on and is very wet, you can penetrate, and then it goes on and on. You do several, what we call several rounds. Sometimes you feel like ejaculating. You
control it.
You control it. You do it severally till you realize that your partner has gotten enough satisfaction.
Orgasm, then you allow yourself.
Then you release. Now, when you release, it's what we call the resolution period.
Before we talk about the resolution period, please. We're still going to continue the discussion on how erection works in part 2 of erectile dysfunction. Please stay tuned.